This is the opening up and surrendering part of our program. We can start with Dandasana. It's a stick posture. Danda can be a stick represented by the spine at 90 degrees to the ground. The spine is gently held upright but not rigid. The feet are slightly apart, the shoulder blades slide down the back ribs, and the breath moves freely. This brings us to the second posture, Navasana, a boat movement. So especially if the back isn't as strong as it might be, the best thing to do is to gently bend both knees and hold underneath the knees. And when you feel ready, lean the body back to about 45 degrees and straighten both legs. The full posture is when the arms are parallel to the ground. And you should breathe. Always breathe. When you're ready to come out, gently bend the legs. Let the body rest on the legs. And only when you feel ready, come back to Dandasana. The next posture is Konasana. Kona means angle. So, for the legs to be at an angle, you'll have to move. And let the legs be comfortably apart. This does not have to be your maximum, but with practice, the legs will go as wide as you feel comfortable. So, lifting the spine, let the sacrum move up, feel the shoulder blades release down, and as far as you find it comfortable, walk the hands gently forward, not letting the sternum fall down. Keep the sternum active, and if you can straighten the arms, keeping the sternum active, let the weight of the head release down towards the earth. When you're comfortable in the posture, the torso can release downwards and the shoulder blades can slide outwards. You should breathe. To come out safely, gently walk the hands back towards your shoulders. And when you're in an upright position, this is suitable for our next posture, Baddha Konasana, a cobbler pose. Gently exhale, reach down, pick up both knees, and bring 10 toes together. That's it. So, letting the spine be upright, soften the shoulders, and let the hands rest on the thighs or the knees, not pressing, not forcing. This is a posture good for flexibility in the pelvis and the adductors. Go back to Dandasana position. Now a forward bend called Paschimottanasana, a head to knee pose. But head to knee is not our objective. The first objective is to let the abdomen rest on the quadriceps. So, empty the lungs. On an in-breath, bring the arms by the ears. Gently link thumbs. On an exhale, let the hands rest on the legs above or below the knee. Whatever is good for your condition at the moment. So, empty the lungs, grasp the legs. On your in-breath, lift the sternum towards the chin. On an out-breath, let the navel come forward. When the head is comfortable, let it rest. It may reach the knees or the shins. When you are comfortable, you can gently hold the heel to work on the basic brain, the middle of the foot for the middle brain. Higher level functions, you can grasp the toes. Continue to breathe gently and let the shoulder blades slide outwards to the right and left. Remember, the bend is not from the shoulders up, it's from the sacrum forward. After some breaths, gently empty the lungs. On an in-breath, lift the head and the spine, lifting the sternum again, arms by the ears. And when you are ready, exhale, press the air down on both sides. And again, Dandasana. Now, one of the most important poses in yoga, a corpse position, Shavasana. Using your forearms and your elbows, you can gently curl back until you're lying supine. Let the palms face the heavens and let the armpits have room to breathe. And be prepared to surrender your weight to the earth. Now we can use this position as a relaxation, but for now we can concentrate on the breath. Previously we did intercostal breathing with the hands on the middle of the rib cage. Now let the hands rest on the abdomen near the navel. Let the middle fingers touch when the lungs are empty. On the in-breath, the abdomen can expand. On the out-breath, let the abdomen gently empty. By moving the epiglottis in the throat, it sounds a little bit like a hissing noise. This can be called loud or victorious breath, ujjayi, and should be done only under supervision by a qualified yoga teacher. As we can see, Nayanjilin is doing very well. When that is completed, the backs of the hands can again rest on the earth. Let the body release and let the breath breathe you. From Shavasana, we can go into a bridge posture, Setubandha. To do this, gently bend both legs, and for stability, you can put your palms on the ground. Now, beginners may find this challenging, especially if this is your first time attempting this posture. So I won't keep Nayanjilin in it for very long, but for those of us that have some experience, you may want to stay for a few breaths longer. To go safely into Setubandha, gently bring the lower back onto the ground. On an out breath, push the pelvis from the ground. On an out breath, extend the tailbone towards the knees. So the pelvis comes off the ground. Exhaling, bring the tailbone out towards the knees, and perhaps you'll feel a stretch in the quadriceps. For the more experienced practitioners, the tops of the quadriceps can rotate in towards each other. A variation on this pose is when you bring the arms beside the ears, palms facing the sky, and feel the shoulder blades rotate outwards and downwards. Exhaling, bring the arms by the sides and gently curl the upper back, then the middle back, then the lumbar vertebrae, the lower back onto the ground. Gently straighten both legs, palms face the heavens. You're back in Shavasana. Take a few breaths and let the body be comfortable. From here, we can do an easy fish posture, Matsyasana. So gently bend both knees and cross the ankles and let the knees release downwards, interlacing the fingers behind your head. Feel the rib cage expand and bring the tops of the shoulders onto the ground. Feel the opening in the rib cage. Beginners and experienced practitioners may want to hold this for some time and find it very relaxing. So after some breaths, gently release the fingers, let the arms rest by the sides, and return to Shavasana when you feel you're ready. From Shavasana, you can sit up in a number of ways. One way is to gently cross the ankles, have the legs in a cross-legged position, and using your forearms and elbows, gently wiggle your way to a sitting position. But those of us with lower back problems may find it safer to go from Shavasana to simply bending both knees, releasing over to the right hand side, two shoulders go over, and getting up from the right side. When you're safely in Sukhasana, then allow the back of the neck to be comfortably long. Feel the softness in the shoulder tips. Let the spine be upright but not rigid. For this easy twist, make a decision now which is your right hand, and you will not be allowed to change your mind later. So let the right hand be on the ground behind you, left hand on your right knee, and we'll start the twist from the bottom of the spine upwards. So gently empty the lungs. On the next in-breath, let the waist, the sacrum, turn towards the right, lifting the shoulders. Empty the lungs. On the next in-breath, lift the ears, and exhaling, look over the right shoulder. Go as far as you find comfortable, and maybe next time a little bit more. After a couple of breaths, gently return to center, starting at the top of the spine this time, doing it in reverse, rotating the shoulders, the middle of the back, then the lower back, right hand on right knee, the other hand on the other knee. To do it to the other side, left hand on the ground behind you, right hand on your left knee. Empty the lungs, notice the waist, the lower back. Inhaling, turn the waist, the middle of the rib cage. On an in-breath, now lift the sternum, the ears. Exhaling, let the face look over the left shoulder. Remember, go as far as you comfortably can, and perhaps a tiny bit further. More experienced people may wish to breathe into the left lung only. To come out, reverse what we did. Inhaling, lift the ears, rotate the top of the spine, the shoulders, finally the waist and the lower back. The hands rest on the knees, and let the spine again be upright but not rigid. From Sukhasana, we can go into a cat movement. So from this gentle cross-legged posture, empty the lungs and let the hands be on the mat in front of you. And more experienced people may simply rock onto their knees. Otherwise, simply come up onto all fours and let the shins be hip-width apart and parallel. So, Let the spine be parallel to the floor, extending the tailbone, the lower back gently flattens out, and let the ears move gently away from the shoulders. That's it. To move into this cat stretch, gently empty the lungs. On your in-breath, extend the sternum towards the wall in front of you. On an out-breath, let the ears hang down between the arms, and let the sternum move up towards the heavens. We can do this a few times. On an in-breath, open the chest, the sternum lifts. Exhaling, ears between the arms, and the sternum rises. Continue. After a few repetitions of this, on an out breath, empty the lungs, and on an in breath, bring the right arm parallel to the floor. On an out breath, extend the left leg away from you. Continue to breathe, and let the pelvis be parallel to the floor, and let the shoulder blade soften. Exhaling, right hand and left knee to where they were. Empty the lungs. On an in-breath, left arm parallel to the floor. Exhaling, the right leg extends away. To continue, on the in-breath, knee and left hand reach the floor. On the out-breath, right hand extends, left knee comes up. This gives a full extension to both sides of the spine and helps to open up the cavities in the chest and lets the breath move more freely. Having finished the cat posture, comfortably be on all fours. Feel your contact with the earth. The child's posture, Balasana, can also be a closing down posture, re-establishing rest and contact with the earth. Very easy to get into. Simply sit towards the heels, and depending on how comfortable you are, how much flexibility there is, either the forehead can rest on the floor, or you can put one or two fists underneath your forehead, so the thumb side is underneath the forehead, and the shoulder blades are allowed release down. There must be no strain in your neck. In due time, you can let the arms be by the sides, with the hands near the feet, palms facing the heavens, and perhaps the breath can move in the abdomen, and you'll feel the weight of the two shoulder tips. This can serve as a relaxation posture, a closing down or finishing posture in a sequence.